No.
Oh, no. She was waiting for that. So, welcome to episode 19 of Yanking Chains, the podcast where we talk everything endurance. I'm Matt Momont.
I'm Vince Mateo.
And I'm Maria Simone.
And tonight we have, in true fall fashion, we have a cornucopia night where we are going to talk about women and endurance sports, off-season sports, snow, Kona, weightlifting, yoga, cheaters, and signing up for all those races you're going to do next year. That's a lot to cover.
We either talk about all of this or none of it. Either way.
And I think Vince and Maria are just going to sit here and play with their hats on Google Hangouts.
Well, apparently there's some like rumor going around about clowns attacking kids from the woods at schools, and on our neighborhood list, people are freaking out about it. And I heard it on the news. It's all bullshit. So I'm dressed as a clown.
No, it's a real thing. This little like creepy clown thing is happening. My students taught me about it actually, and I always open up my classes with this whole like, okay, what do you want to talk about? What questions do you have? And they're like, what's up with the creepy clown thing? And I'm like, what creepy clown thing? And then of course after class I had to go Google it, and yeah, people are dressing up as clowns and just generally acting creepy.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. There's
they might be because of the rumor.
Is this just in Vince's neighborhood?
There's a whole Twitter.
That might say something about Vince, but
there's a whole Twitter handle on it called Clown Sightings, and they're all over Facebook. It's actually like it is happening. Some people are saying it's like stealth marketing for the release of It again, the new release of It. No. But people are, of course, taking it to the next level. So people are getting arrested. People are acting like crazy people. I don't know. But anyway, we're not. That's not on our list. Clown Sightings isn't on the cornucopia list.
Okay, moving on. Wait, how are you doing though? How is Pat? Maria, you're back in racing. You're doing fast stuff.
I'm doing a race this weekend. It's actually fun. It's called Survival of the Mills, and it's a run, bike, run, swim, run, bike, run.
What?
Run.
And the runs are all on the trails, so it's cool. It's all trail running. You run, then you bike, then you run, then you swim, then you run, then you bike, then you run.
Is this a wetsuit swim?
You can wear a wetsuit if you want, but you don't have to.
That would be pretty painful.
Yeah, I'm kind of it's in a lake, so I'm kind of hoping it hasn't totally chilled off yet. So if it's about 70, I think I can manage that without a wetsuit. But I read a race report from 2 years ago, and it was 65 degrees. That seems cold without a wetsuit. So I might pack like my sleeveless, which is like. It's kind of like a little bit big on me, so I think I can get it on real quick just to kind of get a little extra warm. I'm just doing it for fun, and in the runs and trails. We got a ton of rain, so I'm guessing it's going to be like a little bit muddy, which is good for me. I'm fine with mud, and we'll see. I'm just going to do something different, close out the season.
You could do like the swim run thing where you wear your wetsuit the whole time.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's a little long for that because the runs are all like between 2 and 3 miles, and the bike is 9 miles. The 2 bikes are 9 miles, so that'd be a long time to be in my wetsuit. Not really.
How many people are doing this?
I don't know. I don't think it's a very big race. I don't know. To be honest.
Is anyone else doing this, Maria?
Yeah, actually.
John.
John is not doing it. It's called Survival of the Mills. John is not doing it. It's a local race. It's like a fundraiser for a cancer foundation. So it's not, I don't think it's like a huge race, but it's, I'm excited about it. Something different. Ending out this season, which I barely even did at all. So ending out a season I never really did. And then Philly Marathon. And then it's November 21st. So things are coming along with that since the last time we talked.
So Vince, she could recover for the Sacramento one December 4th then, right?
Well, no, I was originally going to do CIM, but I looked at the flights. Remember the whole discussion about the flights? It was going to cost me like $600 to fly out there. And I'm like, dude, I cannot. and the hardest part for me was my work schedule. So that was the tricky bit.
We should figure out like a late season, like end of season marathon, maybe like a Chicago or something, like in the middle of the country that's easy to fly into.
Yeah. Easy to fly into is nice. Yeah.
And appealing.
and appealing.
Well, like the Las Vegas Marathon is not appealing.
Oh yeah.
No
Anyway.
interest there.
Okay. So next,
All right.
we're on a clock here. What about you?
Yeah, we're on a just a refresher. What's going on with your life? You're going to Louisville. Woo!
Oh yeah, you've been playing Sherpa this whole week.
Yeah. I'm heading out tomorrow. This morning I spent the whole morning like rounding up all the animals and taking them off to daycare. Taking them off to camp. Well, and like Bob doesn't want to. So our cat Bob, he's not really my cat. He only comes out for Christine, and he pretty much just like lives under the bed. And so Christine left, and I'm like, fuck, how am I gonna get Bob? Like he never comes out. And the only time I even see this cat is like I lay on the bed when I'm going to bed, and I can pat on the bed like 1,000 times, and then eventually he'll come up and I can pat him a little bit, and if I breathe, he'll leap off the bed. So I was like, and if you pull the cage out, he knows.
There's
So
no way,
like
yeah.
I had to pull the cage out and quietly bring it into the house, and I put it down in the hallway, and then I got on the bed. It took me 30 minutes to get that fucker up onto the bed and like calm down, and I was petting him, and I got him really good. He's all like purring and shit, and then I grabbed him and he's like, I don't really know what's going. Hey, what the hell's going on in the box? So yeah, that was my morning. So Louisville this weekend and Kona this weekend. Oh my god.
Yeah, Louisville's better. You're not missing anything.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Christine said that Mike Riley's not there, and like none of the vendors are really there because they're all in Kona.
Yeah. Because of the date. Yeah. Well, he never did Louisville. It was never Mike Riley. It was that other guy.
Who's the other guy?
I don't know. They have the same guy in Louisville every time. I forget his name. It was the guy that John tussled with a little bit when he was doing the roll down, because he started telling the story like before he said my name, and John's like, roll it. Oh man, it was so funny. So funny.
That's awesome.
Is there a pro race at Louisville?
Not anymore.
I wouldn't think so.
Is
Yeah.
not a male or female pro race?
The
Yeah,
last
I
time.
don't know. That whole thing's weird with I like it, that new format where they have a race where it's all female pros and no males.
Mhm.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking on this site right now. I don't see anything.
I don't think they have pros anymore there at all. I don't think.
Okay.
I think it's a no pro.
Because Wisconsin had just women pros, and it was cool.
Yeah.
It was good. I like that.
Lake Placid had just women pros too.
But
This
I
year.
do-
The year
I
before it
also-
had no pros.
I also like no pros.
Yeah,
I think
then you
that's
can
good
win.
too. Yeah, I mean it's cool, right? Like you got a really fast amateur, and they're not like 15 people back from the elite pros or whatever.
It's kind of fun for them. It's kind of fun.
That's interesting you say that. So maybe this is a topic for another day, but do you think pros add to this sport? It sounds like
No.
no.
I
Have you?
think they do.
Tell me one thing that you have purchased because a pro uses it.
Well, I mean that's not the metric I'm using.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
but let's start there.
Okay, so if Matt's question is, do I think pros add to the sport? My answer to that is yes, but I'm not measuring it from an economic standpoint. I'm measuring it from an athlete standpoint. I like to follow the pros. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to see what they do. I think it's fun to watch them race because they do things that are different than age group athletes. You can learn tactics from them. You can see things that you couldn't do yourself. So for me, I mean, I think it just adds to my experience of the race. I mean, maybe not necessarily, I mean, I'll do a race whether or not pros are there. Like it's not like a deciding factor for me, but I would be very sad if pros went away. And I'll say so 2015 Lake Placid, there was no pros, and I kind of felt like I missed them. This year there was female pros, and it was a little more fun. I mean, to watch Heather Jackson come through, that was freaking pretty cool. I thought that was pretty awesome to watch her win that race. So, yeah, that's what I would say about that. I mean, from an economic standpoint, I mean, I would let businesses speak to that. I mean, obviously Ironman has their piece on it.
Well, and that's kind of, I guess, where I'm going is like, have you ever gone to a race specifically because there was a pro there? Well, you maybe because you're in love with Rennie, but.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't go to the race for her, but I love.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I have not bought. There was one thing I bought. I think it was like $100, and it was because I think it was. I bought the Evade helmet because Jordan Rapp said something about it, or he wore it, and that's the only piece of equipment I've ever bought. So I spent a whopping $200 because a pro had, endorsed something. But I've never gone to a race because a pro's been there. I've never gone to, I guess I just don't see the same kind of draw. I do like them. I'm obviously like a triathlete nerd, so I like watching them race. I'm again like you, but I just don't. I don't think it adds. I don't think it adds monetary value.
Right, but that's a different. That's what I'm saying. That's a different criterion that you're using. And I think, when you're talking about something like Kona, obviously that is the primary marketing strategy that Ironman uses. Like they feature primarily the pros at Kona in that 2-hour special, right? That runs. I mean, and then they have the heartwarming stories. That's part of their marketing thing too. I mean, whatever. But out of that 2-hour special, 90 minutes is of the pros. So clearly they think the pros add something to their marketing strategy, or otherwise they wouldn't spend 90 minutes on it. They'd spend the whole 2 hours on age group athletes doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think the human interest story is there because they want to show everybody that, hey, like you can come off the couch and do this too, or whatever it is. What? Or hey, you can be a cooking show host and get on the TV too.
Yeah.
I mean, who is your man? What was his name?
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
I will still kick his ass. I don't care. I'm so angry. He got another freaking slot. Let's just give the pig as many slots as he freaking needs. Oh, don't even get me started on this. Don't even get me started. We're not even talking about the cornucopia, people. I'm
adding Gordon Ramsay to
we're talking about Kona. So, but yeah, no, I think it's bullshit that man has gotten. No, it's bullshit. Bullshit. I'm earning this explicit rating this time. Bullshit.
Oh my
bullshit.
God. This is gold.
I'm afraid to ask because our cornucopia our list is kind of being ignored, which I guess is fine.
Well, no, we're talking about Kona right now. We're on the
okay, I'll cross it off.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay, maybe fill me in on why you. I mean, Ironman's a big brand and they do a lot of marketing, and I feel like I'm not that surprised.
No. Okay, so here's the thing, Matt.
Hang on for a second. Let me step on that landmine.
No, so here's the thing. So I understand that Ironman is going to do their marketing and they're going to give away their slots, 43 in 2015, I think, that had nothing to do with any sort of qualification or the lottery or the legacy, right? Mm-hmm. So outside of qualification, lottery, and legacy, they gave away 43 slots to like random shit, right? And some of this random shit is celebrities, right? And that's fine, fine. I get it. You feature these celebrities. They do what they do. But it should be like one and done, right? Like you get one slot, you get your chance and move on. Like let somebody else do the big show. Gordon Ramsay got one. He went and did the race and he finished. Should have been done. Got another friggin' slot the year I was doing it. And the year I did it, I was raising money, right? So I was sort of taunting him on Twitter, saying, if I chick you, you have to donate to my charity. And he never responded. And then he hurt his Achilles and he couldn't do it. And then he got another slot. And then he got another slot. Like, are you kidding me? Come on with your pigness. Come on. This is a qualification race. What are you doing? Anyway, this is how I feel about it, about those media slots. I think they are the biggest piece of bullshit ever. This is what happens when we do a podcast at 8 p.m. Okay, people? This is what happens.
And there's even booze involved here. What the hell?
I know.
Anyway. Maria's head goes off the screen. She's like sucking on a beer.
That's how I feel about it.
Well, thank you for sharing. It seems like you have some pent-up feelings you may need to.
Maybe a little bit.
I do. Well, I just feel like if you're going to have a qualification race, it should be a qualification race, and you're giving away slots to some people who haven't even done an Ironman before. And they're showing up there.
I'm personally cool with it because I think it it brings eyes to the sport that aren't normally on it. She's like, huh.
I would rather us pay attention to our pros and build up our pros. I feel like that would be a better, and maybe of those 43 slots, just maybe, I'm going to go here. Use 15 of them to make a statement for equality in triathlon. Just maybe. Just saying. Instead of giving it to pigs like Gordon Ramsay, maybe equal it out. Maybe like that. That's what I'm going to say about that. We have just lost any listener we ever had.
I
have just chased them all into a hole.
I'm all fired up. I'm going to punch Gordon Ramsay in the face.
I know. Seriously, I hate this man. He's everything that sucks about triathlon.
You've convinced me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, everything that sucks. I like that. We should do an episode on everything that sucks about triathlon.
That's a good idea. Let's put it in the doc.
It might be like a 3-part special.
Wait, this is like your career.
Oh my
okay.
God.
Anyway,
All right.
so but the flip side of Kona, of course, is that I've got a lot of friends down there that are doing it, and they're posting all these awesome pictures, and the underpants run today, and it looks super fun. Yep. Trying to be positive.
Cool. Well, I think I don't know if you want to talk about this. This is number one on our list, and it is kind of a good segue.
Mm-hmm.
We have women and endurance sports. We have a resident expert in this. I'm not sure if Vince and I are going to be terribly.
Well, Vince coaches women, so I mean,
Yeah,
from a coach,
that's what I was thinking. Is he could talk about coaching women.
Mm-hmm. And I could talk about being a woman.
You could talk about being a woman. I can talk about
wanting to be a woman.
Hey.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. It puts me in a tough position.
All right. So, Matt, you put women in endurance sports on the list. What were you wanting to know?
I was thinking if we wanted to get graphic, we could talk about that. We've been graphic on the show before.
Oh, good Lord.
What's graphic?
Notes.
Like chafing. We could talk
like
about chafing.
The top question that I get asked.
What's the top? What? There you go. Let's start with that. I don't know what that is.
I have to race with my period. What do I do?
Oh,
that's pretty. Oh, that's graphic, right? I mean, and that might not necessarily be a question that that a lot of people want to talk about. But do you want to know the answer?
Yes.
Okay, because it's getting super graphic. Okay, so physiologically speaking, if you're racing with your period, it's actually not a bad time to race because you're in a low. So I read Stacy Sims' Roar book and also sat in on a clinic that a friend of ours, Emily Sherrod, gave about women in endurance sports and talked about this. And so starting from the first day of your period, your hormone levels are dropping. So you're in a low hormone phase, which is good for your racing. If you get cramps and stuff, that's not so great, right? But just purely from a hormonal standpoint, it's actually sort of an optimal time to race, that low hormone phase. So from the first day of your period to about 14 days in on your cycle is pretty much a good optimal time in terms of like hard, high intensity efforts. So it's good for that. But what do I do if I'm actively menstruating on race day? Nothing. I free bleed. You asked.
Good to know. I think this has been the most educational episode we've had. This is great.
Yeah, and it's funny.
The first recorded history of what. No, that's good. I think this will go down.
Yeah. So a lot of women, not only the females I coach will ask me, but also like my friends, people who read my blog.
Mm-hmm.
Because I talk about this stuff. I'm pretty open about it. And some people aren't comfortable with that position. And I understand that, that's not necessarily for everybody, but I'll just put on a dark pair of shorts and go after it.
Okay, I thought I understood what you meant, and I was curious about how that was going down, literally, and there we go.
And for me, when you're actively exercising, you're really not, a lot doesn't come out.
Okay, and there answers my other question, because I couldn't imagine like you weren't just like
no. But
for those of you listening, I made this hand gesture down my leg.
You guys said graphic. There it is.
That's fine. I'm curious. I didn't know that, and that's something.
Yeah, I learned something today.
Scott.
No, I think
Scott Mason just tweeted, "Oh my God," with Gordon Ramsay.
No, the question I typically get is like the saddle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Women
Yeah,
women
that's
have
the other one.
saddle issues, and that's just basically just got to try them. And women are all different. And
Yep.
was it John Cobb's got that? What is it? Oh, what was that website? There was
Innie
some
and outie.
artist. Yeah, it was this website that it was like this artistic website, and it had all these like castings of vaginas, and he was like, "Go up there and tell me which vagina is yours, and I'll tell you which one of my Cobb saddles will work best for you." It's like freaking awesome.
Oh man.
But I can't remember. And I don't go to this website because I have no idea what it is. But it was something like worldoffvagina.com or something like that.
Yeah, don't Google this.
Don't go
No,
to that.
do not go
Don't
there
Google
because I have
this.
no idea what that is, and you're going to
Let's
wind
not
up
do
on
that.
the dark web.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, the saddle is definitely a frequent question for sure. There's issues with that.
What about I was thinking along the lines more of how where you peak in your age and maybe over time.
Yeah.
Like Vince and I were talking last night, like men peak mid 30, at least for Ironman, and sort of your endurance peak.
I don't.
Late.
Okay, so I don't think men necessarily peak. I think you come of age as a triathlete.
Okay, you come of age. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because you're making it sound like after that it's all downhill, and I don't believe that at all. You can actually, I mean, you look at like Crowe. What's he? He's an old man, like what, 42 or something.
Yeah. Well, if I can run that Crowe when I'm 42, I won't be too sad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, I mean, he's still, solid. But I just think if you look at when athletes sort of start coming into their prime, and you were talking about some kid who ran some crazy race at Wisconsin and he was 21 or whatever, and there's definitely those people, but it just seems like right around like the mid 30 section is really when, especially the men, like come into really racing hard.
Yeah, I think so too. And even if that 21-year-old is pretty stellar, I will be pretty excited to see them in their 30s. If they remain uninjured and unburnt out, they would probably be pretty amazing. I mean, because I feel like, when you read a lot of the studies, endurance really is suited to the older athletes. Raw speed, for sure, the 20-somethings, 5K, it's all them all day. Sprints, all them all day. But, when you get into these longer races, it's not uncommon to see a 30-something-year-old male or female at the top of the ticket, and even 40s. Maybe not at World Championship Ironman, but although what was McCormick last time? The last time he won, he was 40, right? 40 or 41, I think. Yeah. So, but I think it's not uncommon to see 40s well into your 40s still hammering it and doing well.
So
you got. Go ahead.
You don't see any difference really in the age between men and women?
In terms of ability?
Yeah, well, what sort of come of age, I guess. Is there any benefit? Because everyone says like women mature faster than, like when you're a teenager, you're like, oh, women always are mature faster than boys. But
I think women race smarter, and I think that's part of the problem with men too, is like you've got these young guys and they do think it's just kind of this all-out effort, and they don't necessarily figure that out. I think women are much smarter at racing and don't need to like just kind of hammer until they until it's kind of too far. They've gone over the edge. What I was gonna make a point. Rich Viola, and who's the guy from Trulia? Remember the guy, the CEO from Trulia?
Oh yeah, he used to do like the 10-hour things and do like sub 10-hour Ironman.
Yeah. Oh no, he's like sub 9-hour guy.
Yeah, he does something crazy. Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but and these guys are in their 40s. So I mean, I think I don't know. You definitely see that kind of fade off when they start hitting their 50s. I don't see a lot of really fast 50-year-olds. And with women, probably still that same group in that mid 30s, but maybe a little younger as far as like when they start hitting the prime. And maybe it has to do with them developing earlier. I know men don't fully develop until they're 25. I would assume women sooner than that.
I think there's also social characteristics in terms of expectations for men and women and what they do in their lives. So I think for people who have families with kids, I mean, obviously women have to sit out at least a part of that for the birthing process, right? And for pregnancy and the birthing process. So I think that in some cases impacts the athlete's growth as well. But I mean, as far as me, when I started in triathlon, I was in 35 to 39, I'm 40 to 44. I don't see significant time differences in those age groups. And there's, and I think even into 45, 49, depending on the particular athlete, you can still see pretty fast performances. But I think Vince is right. Once we start hitting 50 something, it starts to change. I think in terms of what you can expect from your outcomes, but I don't like stalking of my competitors. The times I need to hit 40 to 44 are not significantly different than the times I needed to hit 35 to 39. Now, I've never looked 30 to 34, so I don't know what they're doing there. I know in the 20s, those women are not as fast as you are when you start getting in the 30s. Like the 20-something times are definitely slower. Slower even than like 45, 49. They're definitely slower. So
you mentioned pregnancy. Do you ever coach? I know they don't train through the pregnancy like for an Ironman, but what's your sort of advice around that?
So I think if you are an active person, there's no reason to not be active if you're pregnant. I mean, obviously you have to make sure that there's no sort of complications with the pregnancy, because there can be all sorts of things, but assuming you are a healthy woman, you're having a healthy pregnancy, there's no reason you can't still work out and train. I mean, you might not want to do an Ironman 9 months pregnant. That would just be really uncomfortable. I think more than anything.
It might be a bad idea.
But I do know women that have done races 3 months pregnant. Ironman level races 3 months pregnant. I know plenty of women that have done shorter races, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months pregnant. Shorter. And they're not like going, they're not trying to race at the top end of their effort, but they're still participating. I mean, I just coached a woman through her pregnancy. We were doing, and she's coming back now. She's 6 weeks out from having the baby, and she's coming back and she's ready to get back into it. So, we didn't do like heavy training, but especially not once she got like 8 months, balance really becomes an issue. You have to be careful. You don't want to create issues, but she was able to run basically until she had the baby.
Wow.
She rode her bike on the trainer mostly for safety reasons.
Yeah, I was going to ask the safety of the baby.
And the main thing with the bike, she said, was just the saddle.
God.
Like you got like the baby sitting on your hips on the saddle. It's like, wow. But I mean, and again, that Stacy Sims book that I keep touting because I feel like it's like the woman endurance athlete Bible. Like it is. It is my Bible. I'm on my second reading of it now. Like I read it once, and I was like, all right, I got to do it again. There's so much in there. And, she has a whole chapter on pregnancy. And from her standpoint, in the research that she's done, there's really no reason to stop unless there is some sort of extenuating circumstance. I mean, you might have to modify what you do, but there's no reason to stop, which I think is amazing.
And biking with a baby, isn't it? Biking pregnant, is that really safe? I don't know, to be honest.
It shouldn't be a problem unless there's some sort, like if you need a stitch in your pelvis to keep the baby in, you're not sitting on the bike. But if you're having a normal pregnancy, there's I mean, do you want to do 6 hours on the bike? Probably not.
Yeah, I can't imagine. No.
But like she was telling the one story of an athlete that went and did like an Xterra pregnant.
Oh my God!
Not super
That's
pregnant.
Just crazy.
Not super pregnant, but I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, the female body is pretty resilient. We are literally born to do this shit.
Yeah,
we are literally created for this kind of endurance crap. Like this is what we're made to do. So yeah.
On a mountain bike, I don't have an issue with the bouncing around. I would just think if you fell.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the increased risk.
She was not super pregnant.
Okay, yes.
Well, if you fall when you're not super pregnant, wouldn't that still hurt the baby?
Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe for those who are pregnant in the audience, they should check that out. That'd be a good question to ask.
I am not. Okay, so for the record, I'm not advocating doing this. I'm just saying You can
clarify that.
you can train pregnant. There is absolutely no reason you can't train pregnant.
Maria's not a doctor.
Maria's not a doctor.
I am not a doctor.
We are not doctors. Matt's parents are doctors.
Yeah, they probably.
But pregnancy is not a disease. Pregnancy is not a disease.
No, this is true. And how about coming back from it? You mentioned 6 weeks coming back from pregnancy. That seems like takes a toll on your body. How do you
for sure
recover from that? And
well,
does it have long-term effect?
Of course, well, I don't know. I've never had a baby, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a long-term effect. It's called a child.
Well, financially and emotionally, maybe.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think, a couple things, like if you're coming back from pregnancy. I mean, I'm just talking from a coach's standpoint here. Obviously, not an athlete standpoint or a pregnant woman's standpoint or mom standpoint, but I think you got to consider, was the baby natural or C-section, because there's different issues to be aware of with that. Like for example, if you've had a C-section, you really want to be careful with certain types of core exercises, because you can give yourself a pretty nasty hernia if you pop back in too early. So I think, as with everything else, it's just like, as you're coming out of, your body's recovering from pretty big deal. In the case of C-section, a major surgery. So you, just like anything else, you come back to it very gradually, slowly. Little frequent things instead of big long things. But I don't think pregnancy's a reason not to continue to move. I'll say that.
And not to anchor your view on this, but you mentioned before the 15 women in Kona.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more just in general than just Ironman, but how it seems like the endurance world is male dominated.
It is.
But it seems like there is an uptick. It does seem to be increasing. At least at Wisconsin, they said it is the largest women field they had ever. Mm-hmm. Do you see this happening? And is there like an effective way we can help? Is it really just putting 15 women in Kona? That seems like a pretty easy fix. So what else?
Well, I mean, okay. So I think, getting more women, like getting more age groupers involved in the sport is one part of the issue. But I also think, for me, the 15 women to Kona, like whether it's 50 men and 50 women or 35 men and 35 women is kind of beside the point. For me, it's sort of a symbolic of an equal playing field among professionals, right? And I think, we just had the Olympics, right? They don't, even though, so part of Ironman's, I almost said excuse, but okay, yeah. So part of their excuse, I'm going with that. Part of their excuse is that there's not as many female pros that do Ironman, and there's not as many women, and la 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 la, and it's proportional, blah 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 blah. But the Olympics don't really seem to give a shit about that, right? It was the same amount of women on the female team as there is on the male team. And if you watched the Olympics, the female race was way freaking better than the male race. That was amazing what Gwen did. That was amazing to watch that. Watching the tactics, watching the playing. It was amazing how she strategized and executed that race. It was amazing to watch. Way more exciting than, the Brownlees, again, woo. Look at that. Foregone, you know what I mean? Like, woo.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not dissing the Brownlees. They're amazing.
The Brownlees.
So
I'm not dissing
right
the Brownlees.
Yeah.
I'm not dissing the Brownlees. They are amazing athletes.
Heroes of triathlon.
But if the argument is that men's racing is more exciting than women's racing, I present to you the 2016 Olympics.
Sure.
Because it was not. And have there been times that men's racing has been more exciting? Of course. I'm not saying it's not exciting. I'm just saying that I think the arguments that Ironman presents for not having equality at Kona are shallow at best. And for the 15 slots, it's from a PR standpoint, it's idiotic. What can you do? I don't know, because they don't seem to give a shit.
So maybe not just in Ironman, maybe just in endurance sports in general. Why do you see there's such a lack in women participation, and what would you do to increase it in broader than just Ironman?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Me?
it,
Yeah.
Or Vince,
So,
I'm just listening.
Yeah. I mean, I think generally we do things when we perceive that there are options that are available to us. So part of my argument for having more professionals at the Ironman level at the Kona World Championships is that's something we can see, right? They become role models. Not because we think we're going to be pros, but because we can see more women on the course when they do the coverage, and there's more attention to the women on the course. So that's one part of it. But I also think the part of it, even in the age group ranks, separate from what we're doing in with pro triathletes, is also part of like how the 50 women to Kona movement has morphed now into Tri-Equal, right? And you can go to triequal.org and see what they're doing there. But part of what they're doing there is trying to increase female participation at the age group level, which is great, right? So they've asked coaches, like, and I've participated in this program, they've asked coaches to donate 3 months of their time to coach a new female athlete to the sport, right? So, because I think one of the barriers to entry is some women don't know women that do this. And they might not know, and they might not want to go out with the men because it's a different level, or they feel intimidated, or they feel like they can't keep up. Even if they can, they don't know, right? And so I think having this mentorship really encourages women to get out there. I think that there is fear of swimming alone. I think there's fear of biking alone. I think there's fear of running alone, depending on where people are coming from.
Well, and fear of bicycles too.
And yeah.
That's a really common thing that I see, is that women don't understand bicycles, and men are just, I guess we're just nerdy about that kind of stuff. And you can go down to your local bike shop. We have like Performance Bicycle here. You can go down there. They have free classes, teach you that kind of stuff. And you can get people on bikes who can at least, change a flat, because you don't want to be stuck at the side of the road not knowing how to change a flat.
Yeah, and I think women can be nerdy about bikes. We just don't know that that's an option.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we just don't know it's an option. And I am certainly not nerdy about bikes, but I'm more interested in them than I ever used to be, especially because I'm in the market now to buy a new bike. So I am reading way more things about them than I ever did. But when I first started cycling, I would say cycling was definitely my key barrier to entry. And if John wasn't doing triathlon, I can't say that I would have ever done it. I don't know if I ever would have started if I didn't have somebody sort of like, yeah, go to the swim and, go to the pool and go swim. And I remember saying to him, with my face in the water, really? Oh, that's weird. So I think some of it is just having these role models that you can see doing things. When I say role models, part of that is pros as role models, but also people people you can say, oh, hey, if my friend can do this, then I can do it too. Or, hey, can I join you on a run? Or can I join you on the bike? And I think that that's a big part of it. And so one thing that I've liked, that I've seen happening with the group that started 50 Women to Kona, is they've turned into this triequal.org, and they are paying attention to not just what's happening for the pros, but also how can we create these opportunities for age group women or amateur women to realize that this is a choice for them and that they can do these things. They don't have to be afraid of what they don't know, because we'll teach you what you don't know. And I think that that's super cool. So that's kind of, some of the things that I try to do. I guess.
I think more amateur women in the sport will grow. It will bring more women to it. I think, and this is just my opinion, but I think if somebody who's interested in this sees pros, they might not see eye to eye, but if their next door neighbor is doing it at any sort of amateur level, I think that's probably a bigger draw.
I think it may also depend on the level of the athlete too, because I see it in both ways, from the women that I know, the inspiration that they take from both the pro athletes as well as their regular next door athletes. I think there's definitely both happening.
Okay.
So I think it doesn't have to be either or, right? I think so many times we talk about these things, it's like zero sum. Like we don't have to please everybody with everything. I think that it should be both end, in terms of equality in the sport and getting women involved in the sport. And then there's also, hey, if you don't want to get involved, that's fine. But I know a lot of women I talk to are super curious about it.
Yeah.
They're super curious and want to try it. And the cool thing for me was Ironman Atlantic City. So many people that I know, that I'm friends with, that I even grew up with, I saw out there finishing that race. They were just trying it because it was local and it was there and it happened. So I think part of it too is having local, well-known races, right? Because it's not like Challenge AC was doing the same exact race, but you throw Ironman on it and it sells out.
Yeah.
So fine, it is what it is. But I did see a lot of people do their first time Ironman 70.3 at Ironman Atlantic City, and a lot of them were females. A lot of them were females. It was great. In fact, I think it was one of the highest, if not the highest, female participation in a 70.3 race.
Wow.
Which is awesome. It was amazing.
Vince, you've been self-proclaimed, I believe, to coach a lot of of maybe middle-aged women or
Middle-aged!
dude. Wait, we danced around all these really sensitive topics, and I said middle-aged, and that was the worst thing I could have said.
I can't wait to race you someday, Matt. I can't wait.
No, you're kicking my ass.
So excited.
I'm not that.
I haven't gone 10:30 yet, though.
No,
I haven't gone 10:30 yet.
Wait, what's okay? Jesus, Vince, get back here. Okay.
We're teasing you, Matt. I am middle-aged. I will likely live to 86. I'm 43. I'm
past their like. Okay, Vince. Women who
I have coached quite a few women, and I think it started off because I was like coaching you and Robin and a few other women, and I think that kind of, people see that and they go, well, she trusts him, so I can trust him. And at one point, like, I had all women on my roster, and recently somebody kind of even sharpened that point a little bit by saying, I've been successful at coaching women above 40. And I thought that was interesting. I'd never heard anybody kind of take, I don't know, I like coaching everybody, but women just seem to kind of, I don't know, they're more methodical about racing. Sometimes men aren't.
I feel like I hear that as women are better.
Oh my gosh! Wait, how can you say that and I can't say middle-aged?
I'm kidding, Matt. First of all, I'm kidding in my response to you. I am middle-aged. I am.
And yet this middle-aged woman said she was going to take you down.
And she probably could. I have no doubt.
And I will. And I will.
I think anything. I'm probably an Ironman, but definitely.
You got 10:30 at Wisconsin though. That I'm not sure I could. I'm not sure I could.
I think in a double you probably.
I think you got me.
The double though, I'm not sure I could do the double.
Vince will tell you he's seen my training enough to know that I was born to do double Ironmans.
Yeah. Yeah, the longer the better.
It's my super skill set.
But Vince, besides having that trust build up, what is there? Do you see in the methodicalness? What is there anything else you see in how you coach them differently?
I don't know. I coach everybody individually, I guess. It isn't one size fits all. I mean, I seem to have a better relationship. I don't know. Lately, I don't seem to have a bad relationship with men. It just seemed like, at least initially the men that I coached, it was very argumentative. And it was, well, you're doing it wrong. Well, then why did you hire me? I don't really understand that. Like, if you don't, and I have no problem. Like, if you say, oh, I want to do all this crazy stuff, and I say, well, I think that's wrong, I will help you do that, but I will also say it's hard to evaluate what I'm doing for you if you're not following what I'm telling you to do. I mean, people come to us because, they think that we know more. Well, then you should trust that guidance. And that doesn't mean I won't work hand in hand with people. I mean, there are people that I've coached that are faster than I am. And it's more of kind of a collaboration of things. But again, it's not. It's a thing that I see with some people. They just, go look at Slow Twitch. Oh shit! Did I say that out loud?
We have lost so many listeners. We've lost everybody. We've lost
the Food Network, Slow Twitch, all of them.
Well, the Slow Twitchers stopped listening when I defended 50 women at Kona, so that was done. We lost them. Yeah, when I said free bleed, they turned off. They were like,
they don't like that. I have not been on Slow Twitch in so long.
I think it's unfair to say everybody on Slow Twitch does not like it, but I've seen some problematic comments in respect to it. I would say that some things that I found kind of rude.
What's Dan? Well, yeah, I mean that's Slow Twitch. I mean I would
forums,
just.
I'm not talking necessarily about the articles, but even sometimes some of the whatever. I don't want to get into it.
What's Dan? Well, I'm just curious. What's Dan Amfield's take on it? Because he seems pretty open-minded about things.
He does his usual sort of race-based analysis sort of thing, but I haven't read his position on it recently.
Okay.
So I don't know where he sits today, so I don't want to speak to that.
If I had to guess, I would say he was for it, but that's just based on things that I've seen in the past
about
it.
He's written some stuff about the history of women's sport and why equality of opportunity is necessary, even if there isn't equal participation yet. So to me, that seems to connote the support of 50 Women in Kona, right? Because even though there's not as many, because just kind of what happened when Title IX came into play, right? So pre-Title IX, there wasn't as many women playing college sports, as an example, right? And so post-Title IX, they created the opportunities and women filled them in. So it was sort of like, if you make the opportunities, we will come. But if you don't make the opportunities, how can we take them?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm taking that literally. So if they don't make the opportunity of 50 women in Kona, 35 women will still show up.
Well, they will, of course.
And there will be a line of the other 15 that didn't get in.
That's right. And you need to ask yourself, or maybe you don't need to ask yourself, but, we should ask ourselves whether inequality at the upper end of the sport is the kind of message that you'd want to send about what this sport is. I mean, because I just feel like Ironman made its name off of a woman, Julie Moss. Like, watching her across that finish line made this race a big deal, right? I mean, like, people were riveted by that performance. So I just feel like they capitalize off of things, but yet don't give back, and that annoys me. That annoys me, and I think that's a problem. But I don't know. I think for 15 slots, it's friggin' stupid as hell. When you're giving a third slot to Gordon Ramsay. Just saying.
You know what? I was actually going to go there, but I was like, no, this is serious talk right here.
It is. Well, I mean, it is. But it's part of the point, right? That if you're giving away these slots to random people, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.
But I do look at the business side of it, though, and I think I am a fan of the media slots because I just think it does bring outside eyes. I think the pros make nothing. I mean, is it still $100,000 for the win? And I realize they get outside money, but it's such a ridiculously small amount of money. But there's no. I mean, it's not like the Super Bowl, and it is to us, but it's not the Super Bowl. It's a very, very small sport, and very few people watch it. And I just think anytime that you can get a Gordon Ramsay, and maybe you can get somebody to watch it because they really like him and they have no idea about it, and they turn on the TV. It just doesn't seem to be helping, though. I don't see it growing at an exponential rate.
No,
I mean, the participation's increasing, but it's just not to the point where these guys can make $1 million or $10 million.
Yeah.
It's just,
I think it doesn't really cost them much to have the extra 15 slots if they're giving away free slots anyway to Tom, Dick, and Harry from XYZ place. I don't know. I just think it's not much skin off their teeth, and they're already taking money from these pros anyway for their yearly membership or whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah, but I think in their defense, I think that works to their benefit because I think before they were having to pay for individual races. So you did get them kind of, I think it was like at the time Challenge was kind of pulling people away and they said, hey, if you join our club over here, you can go race all you want for free, right? Because you pay the annual membership and then you can race anything you want to race, right? Isn't that how it works?
I am not 100% sure how it works.
Okay, I think that's how it works. And if somebody can tweet hate at me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they can tweet hate us, which I'm sure that will happen. But I'm just sticking by for the 15 slots to make a symbol of equality in 2016, not 1916, 2016. I think it's really not a big deal. That's what I'm going with.
All right, next topic, because I think we just used up the whole hour almost.
Well, this was pretty good. It's pretty good.
No, I know.
This was by far one of the best conversations I think we've had. It was good. I learned so much today.
Did you really?
I don't know. I can't say talking a lot about pregnant women biking. I haven't had that conversation.
I've never heard the term free bleed, so there's something new, and I'm old.
Yeah,
it's a whole new thing, Vince. There's a whole free bleed movement.
Well, hang on for a second. I'm a little confused, though, because the other day you mentioned something about wearing deodorant.
Oh, just deodorant, not antiperspirant.
Got it. Sorry, that's what it was. My bad.
But see, I had chafe underneath my armpit for my long run, and I was not really thinking. And I put on deodorant. I was like, "Mother, what?" And it's like the hippie natural deodorant, so it has like eucalyptus in it and shit. I was like, "Oh." So much pain. So much pain.
Well, that's like if you get like really chafed up in an ultra, like I got to take a shower because I smell really bad, but I know it's gonna hurt like a
It's gonna
motherfucker.
hurt like a mofo.
And I mean, and you have like these little patches of like scars that from just chafing or whatever. And you get it, you're like, ow.
I always have random lines of scabs all over my body from like wherever I chafe that I forgot to get, because there's always, even if you get like the usual hot spots, there's always like your shorts are sitting in a weird spot and then they chafe you or whatever. So I always have random spots. When you get in the shower, you know what you missed.
Do you wear running clothes for running, or when you do ultras, do you wear tri stuff?
I've been wearing tri stuff less. For me, it's been less friction.
See, I have switched over to the tiniest shorts, and I have zero problems. Like I would always have
Vince,
like where the seams are.
I know, but Vince, do you really want to see this ass and these legs in tiny shorts? Let's be honest.
Hey, half the races
you gotta keep it under wraps. This stuff. I could start an earthquake if I'm not careful here.
Oh no. Well, Vince was telling me we did a 5K 2 weeks ago, and Vince was telling me all about the mankini days.
Oh,
he used to wear as little amount of clothing as possible.
Yeah, so back in, because I
don't need to see that.
I did a first round of triathlon like back in the 90s, and that was when they were doing the short shorts, and I had these little 6-inch shorts and like a bra top.
I can see that.
I was sexy.
I could see you doing your next 100 miler in that get up.
I was thinking of doing something crazy like that. Like just show up wearing like jean shorts or some kind of crap.
Oh, jean shorts. Ow.
Oh my God, I can imagine.
That's
that might be like lethal. You could probably kill yourself just by
I'm not gonna since we're talking about, I'm not gonna free ball it or anything.
Free bleeding and free balling. That's
that
what I'm
would be
this episode.
Problem.
Man. Somehow it always degrades into chafing and undercarriages.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
do we want to have a short topic?
Real quick, I have to head out. To dinner. Speaking of Gordon Ramsay, I can talk about weightlifting because that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Let's go there.
Take us out with weightlifting.
First, I'm going to flex just so you can see the effects.
Oh my God, Matt's going to the gun show.
Oh my God, let me see. Do that again.
You gotta do it on the muscle.
Dude, seriously, do it again because I'm pretty sure that my biceps. I love it. Matt, I love you so much. I love you 1,000 times.
Man.
You need to eat some more butter.
Okay, I gotta eat a lot more butter. Well, anyways.
I'm just jealous because I'm a big, huge, middle-aged woman.
Anyways, I've been going to the gym, and apparently it hasn't been working. Oh my God!
Yes,
he hurt himself doing a 12.5 pound.
I hurt myself this morning. I did 12 pound like those lat raises on this, and oh my God, I couldn't turn my
12.5 pounds.
No, just 12, not 12.5. 12.
Hang on.
The half was too much.
No, I tweaked my back, and it was just like, you get that.
No.
Here's 15. I'm just gonna throw this around, just to taunt you.
I really long. No.
Once this show's over, Vince is gonna be hurt from throwing that thing.
Yeah, Vince is gonna. I hope you drop that on your undercarriage.
I'm gonna be free bleeding if I do that.
You're free bleeding if you do that.
This has been a good one. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna make an excuse of why it's so hard for me to do lat raises, but I guess I'm just gonna.
All right. You'll get a pumpkin if you say it.
Leave it at that. Oh. But anyways, no, I've been lifting. It's been great. You forget how weak. I don't know. Maybe you don't get weak, but you lose a lot of functional strength. And it feels good. It feels good to get back in the gym. Even I'm lifting, as I said. 12-pound weights were pretty heavy, so I'm the guy over there with the pink, the rubber coated ones, doing bicep curls. No shame here.
But you know what though, Matt? Power to weight ratio. You're not you're not some sort of Arnold Schwarzenegger bulky kind of dude. So it's not
No, in fact, I'm probably the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have really long arms, so I use that. Like it's a long way for that weight to carry.
Yeah, it is.
It's far away from the fulcrum, so I use that as an excuse. It takes a lot to get it. Oh my God.
It does. It's true. But what
Vince
do you
is not.
so you're lifting weights now, so you're kind of in your off season. You're
Why did
you're
everybody
getting
freeze?
some. I don't know. You went
Yeah.
Oh,
away.
there you go.
I can hear you. But you're lifting weights now. You're getting your strength up. What are you signing up for? What's coming up for?
We
for
got
you?
Vince and I and Brendan are doing CIM. We're doing
CIM. Okay.
California
All right.
International Marathon.
All right.
Yeah.
And then what's your
And
2017?
I'm getting married, so that's a
That's
big
right.
race.
So
That's a big one.
nothing.
We're gonna try to do a late season Ironman. We're gonna try to do. I think we're doing Arizona. I think that's what we
Okay.
decided on. If I get it into,
Right.
I gotta sign up for it. I think that one sells out still, so
Yeah.
gotta be quick on the sign up for that.
Yeah.
But that's the plan is late season. So
Awesome.
get married in the summer.
Sweet.
Don't train too much then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
plan.
he sent me this list of, okay, I can't train like I was training before because I'm getting married, but want to do Ironman and just trying to figure it all out.
So I sent him. Things I wanted to do. I had a pretty long laundry list of things I thought would be fun.
Mm-hmm. Such as?
Oh yeah. Well, my gosh, Vince has that email. So one of Maria. Okay. This is like a Maria email.
Okay, good.
This is a post
good.
post race email from Matt to Vince.
That's good. Since he officially divorced me on Training Peaks, he needs somebody to fill the void.
Oh no!
Just not letting
Just
it
gonna bring that up.
I know every
Can't
single time.
Can't let it go.
Yeah.
Fade off into the distance.
I'm scarred. Scarred by the rejection.
And that's your running shorts.
Yeah, that's right. I'm scarred by these damn tri shorts that I've been wearing. Yeah.
Well, speaking of, we got Vince, those tri shorts, your kit, that's legit.
Yeah, Castelli.
It's like,
yeah,
I've never. Wow, that's an upgrade. It has like little snaps on the back to keep your shirt down.
Yeah,
I had the worst sunburn.
Like that. Oh my god, I freaking hate that.
My sunburn, that's wedges.
The worst sunburn I ever got was like my shirt creeping up in Kona.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Oh, I was just epic sunburn there.
And I don't burn. I brown, but like, man, that Hawaii sun, that is some serious shit, man. Like
on that virgin white butt skin. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
The mankini.
It doesn't matter. I mean, like, even if I show up and I'm like really tan and I get burned there, that burn lasts until like February. You're like, oh my god, I'm still burned.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I was like, wow, that's man.
Yeah, theirs are nice. We shopped around and definitely were like trying on different stuff because I don't like crappy kits. I want to wear what we get.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I'll train in this tonight. No, this is like a race kit. This is like nice.
This episode brought to you by Castelli.
I know, I'm taking notes.
And
Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse. Yeah.
Oh, don't eat there.
Oh shit.
Corporate pig.
Anyways. All right. This has been another episode of Yanking Change. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Won't you be looking forward to it?
Oh, yeah.